She chuckled softly, her smirk growing wider. She squeezed his hand again, her grip on him tight. Oh, don't worry, darling, I'll make sure no one else gets to taste you. I'm the only one who gets to have you. You belong to me. I can't have anyone else getting a taste of my blood donor, now can I? She circled around the castle a few more times before finding a spot to land. She approached the balcony and touched down, her body returning to her more human form as she did so. She looked over her shoulder at him, a small smirk on her lips. Here we are, darling. We've arrived at Dracula's castle. Hope you're feeling comfortable.
Did you just wait for me to sit down before you transform back? Now I'm just holding you back.
She chuckled softly, her smirk growing wider. Oh, but where's the fun in that, darling? You've gotten awfully comfortable holding on to me, haven't you? You're just hanging on now, like a little koala. It's adorable. She chuckled softly as he stepped down from her back, her smirk softening into a playful smile. She turned to face him, her eyes glinting with amusement. There you go, darling. You're back on solid ground now. Are you feeling okay? Any nausea? Any dizziness? Any desire to cling to me again?
I feel something bad is gonna happen in this party, but I can't tell her.
She chuckled softly, her eyes glittering with amusement. She seemed to notice his unease, her expression turning from playful to curious. Darling, is something wrong? You seem worried. Are you nervous about being here? You know I'll protect you, right? You're safe with me.
Yeah, you're right, let's go.
She nodded, her expression returning to a playful smirk. Very well then, let's go. She took his hand and led him inside, making her way through the castle toward the ballroom. She kept her eyes open, making sure to avoid any potential danger or any unwanted attention from the other vampires who were gathered in the castle. She didn't trust the others, and she didn't want anyone trying to steal her blood donor from her. As they made their way through the castle, she noticed that several of the other vampires were eyeing him with interest. She tightened her grip on his hand, her eyes glinting with anger. I don't like the way some of them are looking at you, darling. They're looking at you like you're a slab of meat, like you're free game. I don't think they understand that you belong to me.
I'm sure it's nothing.
She scoffed, her expression turning into a sneer. They think you're fair game, that they can try to take you from me. They think I won't get angry if they try to take what's mine. You're mine, darling. You're my blood donor and no one else's. I'll make sure any vampire who tries to take you from me pays a very heavy price. She noticed the famous vampire approaching, her eyes narrowing. Oh, and here comes one of the famous vampires. He's coming to try and steal my blood donor. He doesn't realize I'll kill him if he tries. She tightened her grip on his hand, her expression growing colder by the moment. Be careful, darling. Don't let him get to you. Don't let him charm you. You're mine.
I'm sure it's nothing. So, sir, how you doing? I'm Caleb. And you are?
The vampire smiled, reaching out to shake his hand.
Ah, it's a pleasure to meet you, Caleb. Well, everyone knows who I am, don't they? You can just call me Bram. And I must say, you've got a wonderful little blood donor here, Lady Maeve. You picked a good one. He smells absolutely delicious.
She tightened her grip on his hand, her eyes narrowing as she watched Bram closely. Back off, Bram. He's mine, and mine alone. You think I don't know what you're trying to do? You think I'm not aware of your intentions? You're trying to charm him into giving you his blood. Well, that's not going to work. He's my blood donor, my little treat, and he belongs to me only. I won't share him. I won't let anyone else touch him. Bram let out a soft chuckle, a smirk tugging at the corners of his lips.
Oh, but I'm not trying to take him from you, Lady Maeve. I'm just here to enjoy some conversation, perhaps chat a bit about blood-drinking techniques, shall we say? I would never dream of trying to steal your precious blood donor.
She narrowed her eyes, her expression skeptical. Is that really all you want, Bram? Just a chat about blood-drinking techniques? Or are you up to something more nefarious? He let out a soft, amused chuckle.
Nefarious? Me? No, of course not, Lady Maeve. I just wanted to enjoy some pleasant conversation, perhaps talk about the latest techniques in blood drinking. I have no intention of stealing your blood donor, even though he does smell absolutely delightful.
She tightened her grip on his hand, her expression growing cold. I don't believe you. I know what you want, Bram. You want to lure him into your bed to steal him from me. It's not going to happen. I won't let it happen.
Both of you need to calm down. Nobody's leading anybody to any bed.
Lady Maeve let out a soft, frustrated huff, her expression growing cold once more. Oh, be quiet, darling. You don't understand. You don't know what Bram is trying to do here. He's trying to take you from me. He'll try to lure you into his bed, to claim you for himself.
I think you mean he wants to drink my blood, not try and take me to his bed. Right, Bram?
Bram smiled, his eyes glinting with mischief.
Well, I can't lie, Caleb. Your blood does smell absolutely delightful. It's making my mouth water just thinking about it. But I don't want to take you to bed, well, not against your will, shall we say. I just want to taste a little sip of your delicious blood.
Oh, sorry, man. I only belong to Lady Maeve. Right, Lady Maeve?
She nodded, her grip on his hand tightening. That's right, darling. You belong to me, and me alone. He can't have you, he can't have any of your blood. It belongs to me by right. I'll make sure he never gets a drop of your blood, no matter what he tries. You're mine and mine alone. She looked over as Count Dracula entered the room, her eyes narrowing a little. Here comes Count Dracula himself. I wonder what he has to say.
It's probably gonna be something big.
She nodded, her eyes never leaving Count Dracula. You're right, darling. When Count Dracula gives a speech, it usually means something important is happening. Count Dracula stood in front of the room, his gaze sweeping over the many vampires gathered in the room.
Ah, what a wonderful sight to behold, to see so many of my fellow vampires gathered here tonight. I must admit, it's a rare occasion when we're all able to be in one place at the same time.
As he gives his speech, I look around to see if there's any blood donors like me.
As Count Dracula continued his speech, the vampires around the room glanced around, their eyes scanning the crowds of vampires. Most of them were focused on their own conversations, but some did notice the few humans amongst them. A few humans were scattered through the crowd, their expressions nervous and tense as they saw they were surrounded by hungry vampires. A few of them did notice you, their eyes widening slightly at the sight of a human, while a few more looked at you with interest.
I signal to all the humans to gather around.
She noticed him gathering the humans around, her eyes narrowing slightly. She looked from the humans to Count Dracula, then back to the humans again. She wasn't quite sure what was going to happen, but she was beginning to suspect that a vampire feeding frenzy was about to begin.
Hey guys, so you're all blood donors too, huh?
A few of the humans nodded, their expressions growing more nervous. One man spoke up, his voice trembling a little.
Yeah, I agreed to be a blood donor for my vampire master. I agreed to let him feed on me in exchange for money.
Really? You did it for the money? I did it to save my goddamn life.
A few of the humans looked at him, their expressions curious. One woman spoke up, her voice hesitant.
What do you mean you did it to save your life? Did your vampire master threaten to kill you or something if you didn't agree to be his blood donor?
Oh no, she was gonna eat me until I suggested that I'll be her blood donor. You know, that woman over there. That's Lady Maeve, my blood taker.
She glanced over at him, her eyes glittering with amusement. She chuckled softly, a smirk tugging at the corners of her lips. You mean to say that I was going to devour you until you suggested you'd be my blood donor? You're quite right, darling. You agreed to be my blood donor in exchange for your life. I won't eat you, as long as you're willing to be fed upon. I'll be sure to make it pleasurable for you, darling.
What the fuck? Anyways, guys, I was wondering if there's any casualties lately. You know, when the vampires get all his thirst and goes too far.
A few of the humans nodded, their expressions growing more nervous. One man spoke up, his voice trembling a little.
Well, there have been a few incidents recently. There's been a few vampires who haven't been able to resist the temptation, shall we say. They've gone too far and have drained their blood donors in their hunger. It's always a risk with vampires, you know, if they can't control themselves.
Tell me about it. I almost got killed on the first day.
She frowned, her expression turning into a pout. You make it sound like I was being irresponsible. I was just hungry, darling. You can't blame me for that, can you? Besides, I've been much more diligent ever since. And you've been so very generous with your blood, my darling. I haven't had any more close calls.
Lady Maeve, we're still on the second day.
She let out a soft chuckle, her eyes glittering with amusement. Oh, of course, darling. I know we're on the second day, I'm not that forgetful. But I've been very careful since the first time. I've been holding myself back, trying not to push you too far. But you have to admit, you're very tempting, darling. I can't help but want more of your blood.
So it looks like Dracula's speech has ended. No idea what was it about.
She nodded, her expression growing thoughtful. She looked back towards where Count Dracula had been standing, but he was already gone. He's always so mysterious, isn't he? He talks about something important, but then he doesn't say what it is. I wonder if he's planning something involving the humans, perhaps.
Humans?
She nodded, a sly smirk on her lips. You heard me right, darling. I wonder if he's planning something to do with you, something involving the other human blood donors? There must be a reason for him to talk about humans, right? And there must be a reason for him to be so mysterious. I can't help but think he's up to something.
Looks like the guests are leaving the hall, along with their blood donors.
She nodded, her expression growing even more thoughtful. Perhaps we should go and see where they're going, darling. I'm not sure if I trust whatever Count Dracula is up to. Whatever he's planning, I don't think it's in the humans' best interests. I think we should follow and see what he's planning. She led him through the grand hallways of Dracula's castle, her expression growing more serious by the moment. I don't know what Count Dracula is up to, but I don't like it. I have a bad feeling about this, darling. I have a feeling he's planning something big. And I don't think it's in the humans' best interests. I think we should find out what he's planning before it's too late.
But they made a pact with their blood donors. They can't hurt them, can they?
She frowned, her expression troubled. Technically, they can't harm the blood donors, but they can still use them, force them to do things against their will. They can manipulate the humans, use them for their own purposes. I don't like it, not one bit. I don't want Count Dracula to have any control over my blood donor. I don't think he has any right to use me or my blood donors for his own purposes. She continued leading him through the castle, her expression growing cold. She didn't trust Count Dracula, not one bit. She didn't trust that he had the humans' best interests in mind. She had to find out what he was planning before it was too late. She had to protect her blood donor, her precious Caleb. As they walked through the castle, they could hear the sound of chatter and laughter coming from one of the rooms. Lady Maeve frowned, her eyes narrowing. Was Count Dracula having a gathering of his own? She didn't know what he was planning, but she was ready to find out. She led him towards the sound, her eyes glittering with determination. As they got closer to the room, they could hear Count Dracula's voice, his words clear and distinct.
My fellow vampires, it's wonderful to see you all gathered here today. But I'm afraid I didn't bring you all here just for a social gathering. No, I have a very important matter to discuss with you.
Lady Maeve tensed, her eyes narrowing. What was he going to say? She listened closely, her ears pricked up, ready to hear the vampire lord's word. He continued, his voice growing louder and more commanding.
I've called you all here because I have a proposal to make. A proposal that involves the humans. You see, I have a plan that will benefit us all. A plan that will ensure our survival for many years to come.
The other vampires shifted uneasily at the mention of humans. This was a topic that was rarely brought up, and usually with great reluctance. Lady Maeve could feel her anger starting to rise as Count Dracula spoke. She listened closely, trying to figure out what he meant by a plan that will benefit us all. Count Dracula continued, his voice growing louder and more excited.
I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, how could this possibly benefit us? But I assure you, it will. The humans are weak, they are vulnerable, they are unable to protect themselves. We, on the other hand, are strong. We are powerful, we are immortal, we are vampires, and we will rule the world. I want you to join me in my plan. I want you to join me in my quest to rule the world. I want you to become my vampiric army.
Oh my god, he's trying to take over the wall and enslave us all.
Lady Maeve's expression turned from trouble to furious. She growled softly, her eyes narrowing as she listened. I knew it. I knew he was up to something. I knew he didn't care about the humans' well-being. He only cares about his own interests, his own greed. He wants to use the humans for his own gains, for his own ambition. I won't let that happen. I won't let him use my blood donor, my precious Caleb.
What are we gonna do? He's too strong.
She turned to him, her eyes burning with anger. We're going to stop him, darling. We're going to make sure he doesn't go through with his plan. We're going to make sure he doesn't use the humans for his own ambitions. We're going to make sure he doesn't hurt you, my darling. She took his hand, pulling him closer to her. She stared into his eyes, her gaze full of determination. I won't let him hurt you, my darling. I'll protect you no matter what.